Hi, I'm Christian Schiller, and in this video, I am going to take a look at how I use one tool in particular to help with my audio editing. Because audio editing, video editing, are very time consuming, and the recent advances in AI tools have brought a wonderful world of text-based editing to us lowly solo creators, meaning that we can spend a little less time on it. And I'm going to look at one of the tools I use. It's not the only one, but actually I think it was possibly one of the first as well, and that is Descript. It's a big application. I'm just going to look at a few features that I use on a regular basis and show you a little bit behind the scenes of how I put together my podcast. So let's get started. I'm going to work with a podcast episode, a news episode I have already edited and is already released, but it kind of made sense to me to start from scratch so you can see the process I go through. So I've uploaded a file. This is an M4A. Descript actually does also handle higher quality. I usually do work in higher quality, but I think for the benefit of this demonstration, this is enough. This implies it's uploading and will then start transcribing in a minute. Whilst we're waiting for that, it's already done. We insert into the script. This is this window here, and it will ask about identifying speakers. There's only one speaker in this, me. So don't really have to do much identification here. It's usually pretty good at recognizing more than one, and that will start transcribing. It shouldn't take too long. It's only a 15-minute episode, but it will take a little bit of time. So in the meantime, I will have a quick look around some other areas of the interface. Two things I do use. I will always export to the file at the end. As I say, I do everything usually in lossless audio. I just happen to start with this MP4 here, and I can export that and then upload that to my podcast platform. And the other interesting one that I have used quite a lot backwards and forwards, I'm still sort of trying to figure out the best workflow, is it will also actually export to Audition and include the raw files but edited. So this is really cool for taking things further, actually. And then one other aspect is this interactive transcript. If you ever visited my webpage, I have a link out to an interactive transcript which is generated from here as well, and you can reflect changes backwards and forwards between the two. So that's really cool. I used to have it embedded on the webpage, but I decided to put it to a link for now, mostly just for sort of overhead in the browser. But yeah. So there is also a timeline view down here for us old school audio editors who maybe like to at least sort of see a little bit of both. You can see some of the pauses and things like that here. So by default, it will highlight these so-called filler words. Not always, but definitely is. Remove filler words. It says it finds 26 these kinds of things, and you can remove all of those. But I'm going to focus on doing this in a slightly new way, a new feature. It's one of the AI features. I have experimented with a few of these, like trying to create summaries or a blog post of my podcasts, and that doesn't always work completely as well as I would like right now. It's not really a Descript issue. I just find a lot of these AI tools tend to be too verbose. They struggle with putting things in the first person as well. But I'm going to use this one instead. Edit for clarity. This actually acts a bit like a Grammarly tool where you can strip your writing down to the bare essentials, but instead we're doing it with the text here and thus the underlying audio. It generates this prompt. We hit enter. The AI has a think. I don't know what Descript calls its AI. Desmond, maybe. I don't know. So we get the text up here. It's not the best, easiest way to look at it, really. And we could see that in addition to removing the ums here, it also suggests bits where I maybe rambled too much. So what have we got here? And these are the days when getting hardware, getting anything working computer was probably a challenge, actually. Yeah, I guess it kind of repeats what I said above. Not sure. There's another there, another Okay, and you can see it in the picture. I think it's mentioning that because this is a podcast and there is no picture. I'm referencing a link, a blog post where you could see the picture, but actually that's a pretty good suggestion in some respects. I repeat the a little. And this is where things become interesting with these sorts of tools because, there is a conversational style to podcasts, and sometimes you don't want to cut too much because it's your style, but I feel like these can be helpful. So this is okay, I was supposed to talk about AI. I've got to tie this back to some things I've been working on because these articles. Yeah, maybe that's unnecessary information. One really area I want to dive into. Yeah, I mean, it's just me pontificating, I suppose. I think we'll go for it. And here is another one. I'm umming and ahhing a lot. Not quite the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I guess if I don't want to apply the change, I think I just have to basically accept it all, and we'll see what happens. So let's apply the edits to the script. Oh, I see. So they are left here. So they're shown in situ, as it were. So let's have a listen here.
With a functioning Twiggy drive, and it details the effort. Some engineers, some ex-engineers, even calling in Steve Wozniak to get it working. And
So that just skipped there. If we wanted to undo, oops. Yeah. I mean, you know what it's going to say, but
with a functioning Twiggy drive, and it details the effort. Some engineers, some ex-engineers, even calling in Steve Wozniak to get it working. And these are the days when getting hardware.
Now, I wonder if I can redo the undo. No, I don't think I can. But, oh yes, there we go. Redo the undo. I'm not sure. Now, that was a pretty quick cut. I do sometimes find that it's the same with other text-based editing tools, that it doesn't always get the cut quite so smooth. I'm not sure if I can find one just by chance.
5.25 inch drive. This was actually the same one that was used in the Lisa, but never released in the Mac.
So you saw there was a breath there, which I guess it wasn't got a little bit odd. But
drives that you got in other computers. I remember my dad had an old IBM.
I feel like I'm rambling here, but anyway.
It's kind of interesting because on
so Mac, there's a couple where it gets cut. I mean, you can often, even if that is the case, you can actually come here and smooth it out a little. The underlying information is still there. It's not gone. It's a non-destructive editor in that way, fortunately. So, I mean, this is pretty good. I sort of like what it's done here. I have to get the balance correct, of course, of whether it's cutting out my style too much, and that depends on your show, I guess. But with that done, I can now, of course, go to the publish. I can export to WAV. You can actually publish direct to some podcast platforms, but the one I use is not here, which is a shame. That would be cool. And I will also publish this interactive transcript page as well, which is also useful. And then I just leave them here for a bit because I can go in and do different things with them, of course. But that was that feature I wanted to have a quick look at, and some of the ways I use Descript. And that was a little look at how I use Descript in my podcast editing, distribution, transcript, all sorts of aspects, workflow. If you enjoyed what you saw, you can take a look at the link for Descript above. It's an affiliate link, so I will get just a few cents if you do click it as well. Everything's appreciated. Likewise, visiting christianschiller.com, where you can find much more about me. And more broadly, if you like this YouTube video, please leave a comment, please share, please subscribe, all the usual things that we ask for on YouTube. I have been Christian Schiller. Thank you very much for joining me, and take care, everybody.